This is a video for the Monty group, the Wabanaki group. We took Monty up to the New Jersey Horse Park to do his first ever advanced horse trial. This was a big step up for Monty. I'm saying that he's been really consistent in the intermediate level, and it was time to sort of step him up to the advanced level. And New Jersey Horse Park in June has a reputation of just a slightly easier cross-country course, so I thought I'd love to get Monty around this before I head overseas. So anyway, he did really well. This is obviously the dressage. This was on Saturday morning sometime. It was really hot. So I put Silver's been helping me a bit with him, and we put him in a double bridle, and I definitely think it puts him in a better shape. It sort of I feel like he has a better connection. It gets him a little bit rounder but uphill at the same time. It sort of has a great effect on him, where I feel like he doesn't sort of want to push his nose out. Obviously he's very green around this dressage test. This is sort of the first time that he's had to do the flying changes and canter half pasts, and by saying that, he did really well. He was actually one of the very first horses to go in the class. He went at I don't know, the second or third horse on. Must have been about 30 horses in it. One thing about Monty, he stays very quiet and calm and relaxed. And for an event horse, it's a luxury having a horse that doesn't get hot and fiery in the dressage, and he stayed quite obedient through the whole test. So Monty scored a 35, which is actually not bad considering how difficult the test was, and you'll see our flying changes in a minute, which were very green. We sort of just started working on them the last couple of weeks, and they're a work in progress. I think he gets them clean. They're still a little bit all over the shop, but by the time we get to the end of the year, they should be great. So this weekend, I wasn't too worried about the final placing or the result or anything like that. It was more, to get him around the course today, cross country, safely. It was very hot, not to push him too hard, and just slowly introduce him to the highest level of the sport. And he coped really well. The show jumping, he was a little bit unlucky. You'll see the round in a moment. I thought he put in a really good round, in the sense that he was making a great shape. He was using his body well. He just touched one you won't even see. He just nicked fence 2, and then I think he had the first of the treble down. I actually cross-country schooled him a couple of days before the competition. I usually show jump them just before an event, which usually keeps them sharp for the show jumping, but I was just more nervous about getting him around this cross-country well today, so I took him out and cross-country schooled him, which sometimes makes them less careful for the show jumping. And he was my first ride in the show jumping yesterday, and after getting a little bit too close to fence 2, I decided to ride it a little wider with my other horses. Today in the cross country, we got a tiny little bit of snippets, and unfortunately the girls that are working for me were busy getting horses ready and cooling horses out, so one of them zipped over and got to video a couple of fences. But he was really good in the cross country. He's an honest horse. He's a good galloper. He definitely knew that this was much harder than what we've been doing. By about fence 4, he's like, holy moly. So this is our first flying change. And it was better than I expected, to be quite honest, because he's sort of been leaping from one side to the other. So it was clean. Obviously, it's sort of a bit jolty, but give me a bit more time, and they should be soft and through. So going back to the cross country, he's he's a very well-schooled, well-trained horse cross country. He's a great galloper. The hard thing with the jumping is, or the cross country, is slowing down close to the fence. He's got this big long stride, and you've sort of got to just gently slow him down cautiously, well away from the fence, and then try and let him go at the end. And I thought we did a good job of that today. If you hold on to him close to the jump, sometimes his head and neck come up a little bit, but he's sort of got his own style of jumping. This was our second change. Not quite as good, but we did it. So Eric Devander and Peter Wild have been coming to our farm a bit, obviously preparing the horses for the Olympics, and I've been lucky enough to train Monty with them a bit, and that's been awesome, working away with Peter and Eric. Eric's been helping me a little bit more with the throughness in the dressage, and obviously Peter with the show jumping. This is our show jumping round. It was a little bit of a twisty course, and funny enough, I turned up a little bit tight to this one. You probably don't even see. I just touched the back bar. I heard it clunk though. Saying that, I felt like he was making a good shape and getting up in the air and jumping throughout his body. And I know I'm not trying to make too many excuses, but even though he had two poles, I felt like I was quite pleased with the way he jumped around. Like he didn't feel overwhelmed in there. I think he has the next rail here. He got a little bit fast and long coming into the treble here. So anyway, what I'd like to do with Monty next is actually a 4-star short at Great Meadow. This is a week or two after I get back from Tokyo. This would be a little bit of a step up from this event. By saying that, I felt like he did this event pretty easily. Obviously, we need to keep working on his training at home and improving him, especially in the dressage and show jumping. But, the important part of the 3-day eventing is obviously the cross country, and he's really, really good on the cross country. And he just popped through that water jump like it was nothing. It was quite impressive. This was a big Trakehner to 2 offset tables. Anyway, we'll keep working away with Monty. I believe he's come through this event good and healthy. And then aiming him for the Great Meadow 4-star short, which will be another first for me and Monty. With a bit of luck, I'd love to get him to a 4-star long at the end of the year, and then sort of see where his career goes from there. Thanks for your support, guys.